Yes, now, Democratic Representative Mike Quigley, he is a member of the House Intelligence Committee. Congressman, you obviously are a part of the committee doing one of the investigations in Congress into Russian interference as well. What do you make of Flynn's team no longer sharing information with President Trump's legal team?
Yeah, as a 10-year criminal defense attorney, I can tell you it's not uncommon for defense attorney teams to share information. Obviously, if one of those teams decides to cooperate and to enter into plea negotiations, that's going to end because of the obvious conflict of interest. There is absolutely no way to know for sure that that's what's happening in this case. It's an indication that it might be, and we'll leave it to Mr. Mueller's team to take it forward.
Given you are on the House Intel Committee, do you think there's enough evidence against Flynn that he could be pleading guilty?
Well, he certainly has a lot of exposure for failing to disclose, failing to register, making false statements. So obviously he's concerned for all these reasons. I hearken back to what? A year and a half ago at the convention in Cleveland, I think it was General Flynn who led the cheers, lock her up, referring to Mrs. Clinton. And at the same time, he and President Trump said anybody who seeks immunity must be guilty. Well, I don't believe that, but we're aware of his efforts to seek immunity. So if anything we're learning this morning is that karma can be very difficult.
And it wasn't just Flynn being close to the campaign, but he was actually the national security advisor for the president for a short time. If he is charged, and this is a direct connection to the administration, is that significant?
Well, obviously, if he's charged, it's the most significant event so far in this investigation and Mr. Mueller's efforts. It's clear that the general led the transition team efforts in connection with Russia, and that was his focus. He's no longer a member of the Trump administration because it was believed that he misled, particularly the vice president, about his meetings with the Russian ambassador, failing to disclose that he allegedly talked to the Russian ambassador about Russian sanctions. Obviously, it was very serious then, and it's very serious for the administration now.
You know, your Republican colleagues have made note that this information continues to get leaked. Is that a concern of yours?
I don't think anyone wants an investigation by leaks. It's obviously that there are leaks coming from the White House, from the House and Senate investigations, to a lesser extent probably the Mueller investigation. They need to stop, but the fact that leaks are happening, I sometimes get a sense from my Republican colleagues that they think that the leaks are more important than the fact that the Russian government successfully hacked into our democratic process to sow discord. So they're both very, very important. We need to end the leaks. We need to know exactly what the Russians did, who helped them, if anyone, and how to prevent it in the future.
And as you search for those answers, your committee has a hearing in the coming week with Eric Prince, the former chief of security contractor Blackwater, believed to have played a role in trying to set up a secret back channel between the Trump campaign and Russians. What questions do you want to ask him?
Yeah, I have strict instructions as we talk about leaks, not to talk about who or have coming forward. Obviously, he would be one for a variety of reasons that we want to know. What exactly, what communications took place, who was involved, what was involved between the Russian government and their cutouts and intermediaries or direct contacts with the Trump associate world.
Real quick, I want to ask you about this information in a new Vanity Fair article because, again, you have insight into the intelligence world, but they're questioning the president's ability to handle classified information as it pertains to sharing information with the Russians. Now, it's been widely reported that the president shared information with a couple of senior Russian officials in that Oval Office meeting after he became president, but Vanity Fair is reporting that even before he took office, the CIA actually warned Israeli intel officials, saying that they had come to believe Putin had leverage over Trump. How damaging is this to intel gathering and cooperation?
Clearly, the administration, even before it took office, did not understand how important the intelligence community was. They were attacking them. And they clearly didn't understand how important preserving intelligence and sharing it with our allies on a protected basis was, and even is today. The fact is that the President of the United States says something, he's not breaking any rules. Obviously, he's the one that can decide what gets out there. It's no longer classified. But obviously, sharing this information at the wrong time makes our allies less willing to share extraordinarily sensitive information with us, and overall, it makes us less safe.
Democratic Representative Mike Quigley, good to see you. Thank you for joining us.